everybody. We're just about getting ready to start Discovery reading, but we'll give everybody a second to tune in. I'll tell you a little bit about the books that we're going to read. Again, for those who missed our preview video, the theme today is snakes, so that is so exciting. And I'll tell you what the titles of our books are today. We're first going to be reading An Egg is Quiet. You have a little glare. We'll have to figure that out. An Egg is Quiet. And the other book that we'll be reading is Home for a Tiger, Home for a Bear. I think that we're in our normal Discovery reading room, guys. You guys know what it looks like. I think that we'll turn the lights off and just work with our natural light so we don't have a glare. Okay. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's perfect. That's much better. Perfect. Yeah, so we'll give you guys a chance to tune in. Again, those who are just barely tuning in, the theme is snakes today. So, also as you can see, my lovely assistants are not here today. We want to give them a special shout out and thank you. So that's Tanner, Alyssa, Robin, and Caitlin, who've been helping answer questions. Due to us trying to practice our best social distancing, I'm going to be answering questions by myself today. So hopefully I can zoom in and zoom out on my chair so that I can read your questions. But you have to be patient with me. If I miss your question, I'll try to scroll through and find it. If I don't answer it during this reading, I'll come back and I'll reply you and make sure you get your question answered. So I'll read the titles of our books one more time before we get started. First, we're going to be reading An Egg is Quiet. This book has a white cover, so hopefully that one will get better. And Home for a Tiger, Home for a Bear. These are going to be our books today. So we'll give everybody just one more minute to get online. But I think we're about ready, so we'll get started. So yeah, again, please be patient with me as we figure out exactly what this is going to look like. But this is An Egg is Quiet. An egg is quiet. It sits there under its mother's feathers, on top of its father's feet, buried beneath the sand, warm and cozy. An egg is colorful. There are round eggs, there are oval eggs, there are pointy eggs, there are even tubular eggs. The fact under our round egg says, sea turtles dig a hole in the sand with their flippers and lay up to 200 soft round eggs. Round eggs fit together nicely in tight spaces. When ladybugs hatch a larva, their first meal is often the egg case that they crawled out of. That's our oval eggs. Seabird eggs are pointing at one end, and they're laid on rock ledges. They roll around in safe little circles, not off the cliff. Tubular eggs. While most sharks give birth to live young, some sharks, like the lesser spotted dogfish, begin life in a leathery egg case with tendrils. The tendrils anchor the eggs to seaweed so they can't be swept away in an ocean current. So those are those eggs again. The markings on some eggs help them blend in with their surroundings. This is called camouflage. Camouflage is an egg's way of hiding. An egg might be speckled or resemble the rocks around it, or it may be gray, the color of mud by a lake. An egg does not want to be eaten by a raccoon or a snake or a fox or an insect. An egg is clever. An ostrich egg can weigh as much as 8 pounds. It is so big and so round it takes 2 hands to hold one egg. Hummingbird eggs are the size of a jelly bean. It would take about 2,000 hummingbird eggs to equal the size of one ostrich egg. Eggs come in different sizes. An egg is artistic. There are hard eggs, bird eggs are hard, and soft eggs, reptile eggs, are often soft and rubbery, and gooey eggs, amphibian eggs, are gooey. The goo keeps them from drying out. Most bird eggs are smooth, there are smooth eggs, and rough eggs. The eggs of cassowaries, emus, and cormorants are rough. An egg is textured. The remains of creatures that died millions of years ago may become rock hard or fossilized. Scientists have unearthed fossilized dinosaur eggs all around the world. Some are round and some are oblong. Some are small as 1 inch across and some are as large as 20 inches. Scientists believe all dinosaurs hatched from eggs. An egg might even be fossilized. An egg is giving. An egg gives the little creature growing inside everything it needs. The shell is its home. The yolk is its food. The egg white, or albumen, is its pillow. The shell is covered with teeny tiny holes which allow air to enter. An egg is quiet. Then suddenly, an egg is noisy. Crunch, cheep, 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 peep, crunch. These babies are busting out. These are some of our animals that showed their eggs in the book. But again, the theme today is snakes, right? So we know that snakes also hatch from eggs, right? About 75% of them. About 25% don't, though. Can anybody think of a snake that doesn't hatch from an egg? I'll let you think about that while I'm getting my snake out. Okay. And to answer that last question, there's a snake in Utah that doesn't hatch from an egg, really common that you might have not have known. But a rattlesnake, they do live birth. Okay, we'll get close. You can see Trip. Trip is a rosy boa. Okay, you can see on the back, it's perfect because we're in the natural light. Trip has a little bit of shine on his back. It's not necessarily pink, it's more of a copper color. These snakes are well known for hiding under rocks. That's their favorite thing to do. That is the main hiding source in their environment, and they're well known that if they do not have rocks in their environment, they'll dig underground because that's what they're used to do, is hiding for most of their time. These snakes are located in the extreme southwest, so that includes Arizona and Southern California, and they're also found down into Mexico in the Sonora region. They're known for being extremely docile, and in researching a little bit for today's Discovery reading, I found out that they're really common in some of our Southern California coastal counties, including San Diego, Los Angeles, Riverside, not so coastal, but still one of those counties too, so that's really exciting. So when I'm at home, I'm going to have to go look for one. But yes, one of the cool things that I always love to show the kids about his camouflage is, you see that the bottom is very, very white? If for some reason, there wouldn't really be many reasons why this snake would be above or in a tree. It's not a tree snake, like we said, he likes to hide under rocks or burrow. The bottom of his body kind of looks like the sky, and the top might look like twigs crossing each other, or maybe rocks overlapping, shadows. This is part of what gives Trip such a good camouflage, which was one of the words in our book. Camouflage is the way that animals hide, the way that they blend in. So if anybody has any questions about Trip, you're welcome to send them in. I'll try my best to catch them and answer them. So go ahead and do that. one of our basic snake facts that we always like to talk about is, what is Trip doing with Trip's tongue? Can you see? Yeah, if we put Trip against my skin, you can see his tongue is sticking out. What is he doing with his tongue? Is he tasting me? Is he thinking about eating me? No, not so much. He's smelling me. They use their tongue to smell. It's one of the senses that they rely on most, and their tongue is forked just like this so that they can tell what direction a smell is coming from. So this helps him be able to find his food. So yes, again, Trip is a rosy boa. Yes. And so if you have any questions, you're welcome to send them in. See if I'm missing any. No, I think we're okay. Perfect. Again, I'm new to using the iPad, so hopefully I'm not missing them. Make sure that I'm not. No, I think we're good. Cool. We'll bring Trip close to the camera so you can see him really well before we put him away today. This is one of the benefits to our new setup, is you can see these animals really close. Awesome. And again, if you think of a question before we go, I'll come back and answer it. Okay, Dan, how long is he? Trip is only about 2 feet long. Trip is really little. And these snakes can live up to 20 years old. So they're really small, but they can live really long. And it's pretty well known that some of them can live up to be up to 30 years old, which is kind of interesting. Normally when we think about reptiles, we don't think that the smaller animals live as long, but they do. So thanks for your question, Dan. Alrighty, you guys, we'll keep going into our next book, and if you have more questions about Trip, we can bring them back out and we'll get to it. Okay. Okay. What does he eat? He eats small mammals, including mice. In the wild, one of the things that's a staple of his diet is the kangaroo rat. So, good question. Thanks. Okay, this book is called Home for a Tiger, Home for a Bear. Spinning spider, light and small, weaves a web against the wall. Shiny, slippery, slimy snail has a shell for head and tail. Okay. Dark-eyed deer likes leafy glades, shyly hides in dappled shade. Scampering squirrel, red or gray, makes twigs and leaves into a dray. Long-eared rabbit, soft and round, builds a burrow underground. Blindly tunneling tiny mole, sleeps below ground in a hole. Busy beaver uses logs to dam a stream and build a lodge. Patient heron with long bill stands by river's statue still. Wild and fearsome, big black bear shelters in a mountain lair. Soaring eagle, wings stretched wide, nests in an eyrie on cliffside. Lumbering elephant, ears like fans, rest in shade on grassy lands. Worker termites, small but strong, build nests with roof mounts all day long. Humpbacked camel with wide feet stands on sands of desert heat. Slithering snake with stretchy jaw sulks slyly on the sandy floor. Wallowing hippo loves a flood and wades in rivers or in mud. Crafty, creepy crocodile waits for fish with a smile. Leaping tiger, eyes like glass, likes to hide in jungle grass. Chattering monkey, screech and yell. Jungle living suits them well. Kangaroo mom has a pouch where baby Joey likes to crouch. Cuddly koala munches leaves, lives in eucalyptus trees. Leaping frog, so green and cool, likes to play beside a pool. All have homes where they can rest, but I think that my home is the best. Okay, perfect. So let's talk about our last snake for today. One of the things that this book talked about is that snakes can open their jaw really wide. It's a really common thing that people think that their jaws can unhinge, but really they have a ligament under their chin that helps them open really wide. Really quick, before we show our last snake, I want to show you guys something. Speaking of snakes and living in different homes, I wanted to show you this rock boa skin that we have here at the museum to give you an idea of how big snakes can really be, right? Trip was really small. This is a snake that is in Africa and is known for being really big. So let's just see how long this skin is here. Okay. It's very long. Some snakes can be very big. Trip is so small. This is a boa that constricts. Our next snake is also a boa, or not a boa, but an animal that constricts, okay? Maybe you guys know who it is already. We're still going. This rock python. Wow, that's a really big snake, right, you guys? We won't go all the way because the end of the skin is a little bit fragile. Okay. Our last snake is a fan favorite. It's Reggie. And Reggie is a corn snake. These snakes, as you can see, he's already getting ready to wrap around my arm. They are constricting snakes, but our Discovery Reading kids, they know, is Reggie wrapping around my arm because Reggie wants to eat me? No, Reggie doesn't want to eat me. Reggie is just keeping balance. How long was that rock python skin? It's really long. I think it's, I want to say 40 feet. It's very, very long. Okay, so again, this is Reggie. He's wrapping tight. So, coming around my arm again, he's holding on tight again for balance. And another part of the reason why our snakes love to do this so much is because they're cold-blooded. Here, I'll come a little bit closer. They're cold-blooded. So when I came to work today to the Bean Museum, I had my big jacket on. And so my arm is still kind of warm, and Reggie loves that. So Reggie is, again, a corn snake. These are pretty common snakes. We do have them here in Utah. They're more common, though, in the Midwest. They're called corn snakes because they were usually found in grain bins, eating mice in the grain bin. And they also have their name because, as you can see, their skin kind of looks like the Indian corn from Thanksgiving. So that's another reason why, common explanation for why they have that name. Yes, so these snakes are found mostly in the Midwest, but we do have them here in Utah, and they're actually pretty common throughout the United States. They are also a very, very common pet. So you may have seen them before. Their natural color isn't actually normally this pink color. They've been selectively bred to have these awesome colors. And so for those who don't know what selective breeding is, that's kind of like when you can't decide what type of dog you want. You don't know if you want a Chihuahua or a weenie dog, and you buy a Chiweenie dog. So they're bred to have these awesome colors. Normally, their natural colors are more of a dark brown, dark red. Kind of like our Utah Rock Red that we have here, and a dark brown. So Reggie kind of has these unique light pink, kind of lighter red, brick colors that make Miss Reggie so unique. And Reggie is 12 years old. These snakes can live to be 20 years old, sometimes a little bit longer. And Reggie is 12. So if anybody has any questions about Reggie, they're welcome to send them in. And again, for our friends who are going to end up watching this not live, feel free to comment, because we have people who are going to come through and check the comments and try to answer your questions. So feel free to do so. What color are his eyes? Miss Reggie's eyes are kind of red. We got one person that says, "Hi, how are you? I'm good. Thank you for asking." Awesome. Well, Reggie's going to come really close to the camera and say hello to everybody. Do corn snakes have any venom? They do not, Rachel. They do not have venom. They are a constricting snake, meaning that they squeeze. So for those who don't know what constricting means, you can give yourself a constricting hug, a self-hug. That is what they do. So they do not have any venom. And I love that you said venom, because snakes are not poisonous. They are venomous. So good question. Some snakes are poisonous, meaning poisonous is when you eat something and it hurts you. Venomous is when it bites you. What does he eat? Here at the museum, he eats mice, just like all the other snakes. So good question. In the wild, they would be eating smaller rodents, again, because they love to be in those grain bins. How many types of snakes do you have? We have 3. So we have our corn snake, we have Reggie, and we have Trip, our rosy boa that we saw earlier, and then we have some ball pythons here at the museum. So yes, thank you for your question. We can probably take a couple more if there are any more questions about Reggie. Reggie has really good scales on the side of her body. You can tell that she uses those side scales to change direction. When Reggie's on the ground, Reggie has a perfect S when she slithers around. It's really cool to see. It's a little hard to show it right now, but what colors can they be? Okay, so we were just talking about that a little bit, right? So Reggie's kind of pink, kind of a light brown, right? They can be a dark brown. It's more like a dark red, dark brown. They're natural color. And they can also have these lighter colors. So they can be on that dark range of reds and these lighter pinks. And kind of, you can see Reggie has a lot of white space as well. How long is she? Reggie is about 3 feet, 2-3 feet. So let's see if she'll let go a little bit. She's all cuddled up. Yeah, that's about how long Reggie is. Reggie's about 3 feet almost. So yeah, we'll let her be comfortable. And no, we're not going to bring out any of those other snakes today to answer your question. So yeah, thanks for your questions though, you guys, about colors and about length. I love them. We'll let Reggie get really close so you guys can see Reggie before we sign off today. Awesome. So again, you guys, for those who are just tuning in, we're going to be doing discovery reading on Thursdays at 11. Tomorrow, make sure that you tune in, because Josh is going to do his education collections tour tomorrow. Also doing it solo, social distancing. So tune in, bring him some questions, and it's going to be awesome. So tune in and listen to that. It's going to be really cool. Let's see if we have any other announcements. These videos are going to be up, so if you need to watch it again and learn some more about snakes again, you're welcome to, or watch any of our other live animal show videos or discovery reading videos. Feel free to share these videos with your friends. Anyone who didn't get to tune in today and watch with us, share it with them, and invite them to tune in with us next week. So thank you guys so much for your questions and for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I miss you guys. I'm excited to see you guys in person again. But I'll see you guys later.